What's up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the altar again, and this time we got round three with Elaine. It is great to be able to talk with you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having
Thank you very
us.
much.
Yeah, it's so great to have you here. I gotta tell you, before we discuss everything about the new album, your show that you played at Brooklyn was incredible. That just exceeded any expectation I've ever had. It was worth the wait to finally see you guys, so thank you for finally making it to the US.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
very much.
much,
That was
Alex.
also the first show on the tour.
Yes, it
Usually
was.
those are like where you fall over or something happens, but it went very, very well. So thank you very much for
Yeah.
also saying that.
Of
Thank
course, of course. I know. I was saying, knowing that it was the first U.S. Elaine show, I was like, we're witnessing history tonight. So it was excellent.
Jet lag to hell also.
Yeah, it was chaotic in many
Brutal.
ways, but it was a good gig. Yes, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, jet lag maybe flavors the music a little bit. So
Oh yeah,
Who knows?
yawns and stuff. That's
Yeah.
great.
yep. Yeah. But hey, get used to it because we're gonna want you in America more and more and more. So you'll be coming back a
I
lot.
love that. Oh, thank you.
But it's so awesome to have you here. We Shall Remain is a fantastic album. I've had the privilege of hearing it early, but for people who haven't heard the album yet, do you feel that the first singles that we heard so far, such as We Are Legion and Never Forget, is maybe a good representation of what all of We Shall Remain will sound like, or is that just one little taste and one little snippet of what we're going to hear?
I'm gonna say it's one little taste.
Yeah, it's a little taste, but I think it's a fair representation. And now we just a day ago or something we released Valdas Alles, which was the third single. And I think the combination of these three songs,
Yes.
it's actually a very good representation. It is, but there's a lot of, I don't know, surprises and beautiful elements to discover on the rest of the album as well.
Exactly. That was what I was going to get at.
Yeah.
Like the two singles, they're just snippets, but when you add Valdas Alles,
Yes.
you get a more like feel for it. Yeah, definitely.
What does that translate to, if you don't mind me asking?
Valdas Alles?
Yeah.
Was this all?
Wow, that's amazing. I've always wondered, like, if there's like a specific reason why it's in like a different language to express that particular
There is,
song, as
actually.
opposed.
And also, if anyone is curious, you can always go to our YouTube. Under the music video, we have added the English translation for the chorus, if anyone is interested.
Okay.
And it also had a very, very interesting start on how it came to be.
Yeah. It started with a poem that I wrote. I mean, we were still writing music, as we always do. And I had this poem that I was writing, and I made it in English, but I never felt that, it didn't feel right. So I tried it out in Swedish, and I was like, fuck no, this doesn't feel good. And it was like, it didn't make sense. And I love the German language, so I tried, and it turned out exactly the way I wanted it to be. It is like it makes sense in a way for me, and it just fit the song perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that is actually the chorus that you hear. It is the poem that Madeline wrote, and from that we wrote the entire song.
I gotta say, there's something so strong when music is sung in another language. It's funny, as my mom is from Germany, and she actually translated some of Rammstein's lyrics for me. When you
Oh.
when you sing the English version of that, I'm just gonna say it's horrible. Like, you just don't
Yeah.
want to hear it in another context. So
right?
yeah, so I was very curious to wondering if like singing a song in a different language maybe brings another layer of meaning to it as well.
Yeah, it does in a way actually, because to me it just made more sense. The poem turned out to be more of what I wanted it to be, basically. And I'm very happy about that.
That was great.
With We Shall Remain, is this more or less kind of like picking up where you left off, or a continuation in a way of Dancing in Hell, or being that you released the acoustic EP in between then, and a lot has happened between 2020 and now, that maybe that this is signifying like a new beginning for Elaine in a way?
I mean, the acoustic EP really doesn't touch on how it sounds and what it is. That was just a spin-off because of the tour we had with Sonata Arctica, and that was an acoustic tour. So we had to make something acoustic to be on that tour.
Yeah, it was a fun spin-off.
Yeah. But when the question if it's a continuation or evolution from it, from Dancing in Hell to We Shall Remain, I will say that it is a natural process that we had going from the previous album to this one. If you look at Dancing in Hell is about being in your own personal hell, fighting there, dancing, twirling around the flames so you don't get burned, and getting out the other side stronger than ever before, now with a legion by your side. And We Shall Remain is more. Sorry, there's a sound outside.
I thought that was me because I hear sirens out here every like 2 minutes.
Okay, no. He's almost gone. Here we go.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, then We Shall Remain is more about the actual. You want to take over?
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm inviting you.
Yeah, of course. The thing is that I wanted to add that there's always a natural progression from album to album because we always write what feels right to us, you know. We never pick a specific subject. It is always has become that we just write from what we have experienced, basically.
Yeah.
And Dancing in Hell, it was a very important album. Even if it was written and done before the pandemic, it really hit home for many people, including ourselves. So you could say it is a natural progression to We Shall Remain from Dancing in Hell, because if you look at the artwork itself, for an example, you have this lady standing there, like trying to find the balance that really reflects that you have just been through your own personal hell. You have just been standing up on your feet, trying to find the balance. And if you look at We Shall Remain as an artwork, you can see that there's a lady like rising up. And you see the battlefield underneath. That's a very important part of the artwork. And then you can see the big hands bleeding with all the sacrifices. And it really reflects that, yeah, you were through that hell, you came out stronger on the other side with an entire legion by your side, but now this is something else. This is you growing as a person, evolving in life. So yeah, I think I can say it is like a natural progression, right?
Yeah, I feel
Because
like
it is
the
what we
natural
write.
progression is what I meant with the evolution within the music for us. And it's not a concept at all. It's not that we thought this and then we're going to write that. It just felt right to create it, and it became what Madeline just explained.
Well, I've always wondered. It's funny you mentioned that too, because being that Eleine is such a cinematic band in a way, I've always wondered if like maybe there was a storyline. Like in order to get the concept of Until the End, you have to listen to the self-titled first. In order to get the concept of Dancing in Hell, you have to listen to Until the End, and with We Shall Remain. I was wondering if it is almost kind of like a sequel in a way, because I feel like the natural evolution of your sound is like prevalent, but like it also I feel like adds context as well. Like it makes me wonder like if there is a sort of character involved, like as we've seen on the album artwork, that maybe it's being portrayed and we're diving into the Eleine journey through the whole catalog.
Pure dumb luck.
Yeah. It has just been, okay, we create what we feel is right, both music and artwork wise.
And we always write about what we feel, what we know, and what we see, and what we've been through. So I mean, it's natural to see a thread within it.
Exactly.
We never write what we think people want us to write.
No.
We never create what we think people want us to create.
Yeah.
We only create what we feel is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So therein, I think you find the thread you were mentioning.
Yeah.
And I take that as I would take that as a compliment that you see a thread,
Oh, yeah.
because that really means that we're just staying true to ourselves and what we do, you know, and it comes out naturally in a way. So
I think
I like that.
I think like for a lot of listeners, we're all gonna see like supernatural elements within all of you, because if this is like a self-portrait, and you guys are very much are what you create. But like in order, because you write all your music based on experience, I think your music is very relatable as it is cinematic. Why do you feel that the style of sort of like the sort of, and not to pigeonhole, but this sort of symphonic, very aggressive style that we hear in Eleine, why do you feel like that was always the best means of expressing your own experiences and your own personal emotions?
Well, when it comes to like the symphonic elements, for us, it is a very important part from the cinematic area. Like we love movies, you know, and I usually, when I write music, I don't know if we've been talking about this before, I see images and like video clips in my head when we write music, and whenever I write lyrics, that is what I see. I'm extremely influenced by movies. It appears, I guess. So I always have that in mind, and it comes very naturally. Like if you see a movie and you see the desert and you hear this beautiful cinematic orchestra in the background and the oriental vocals, it gives you a very certain feeling. I know that a lot of people don't even maybe think about it, but I know that in the gaming world, I know that there's so much great music. I know so many can relate to specific moments in games where they've been through a battlefield, and then just comes this very silent and calm moment where you have this beautiful music. Imagine playing games and watching movies without any
I
music
have
at all.
I have the new Zelda game playing right next to me as we speak. So
Hey,
yeah.
There
Tears
you
of
go.
the Kingdom. Yeah, I want to play
there
that
you
too.
go. Yes.
It's
I gotta
addicting.
get that one when we get home.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
dangerously
Play it on
addicting.
Twitch.
It's dangerously addicting.
Yeah.
Just a heads up. I didn't realize I forgot that I had the interview as I was playing the game, and I was like, oh shit! Thank God I set thank God there was a reminder. But
Yeah.
have you ever thought? I can't remember if I asked this before, but have you ever thought about expressing the idea of Elaine through other mediums as well? I look at the album artwork, I hear the music, it's almost a franchise waiting to happen. I could see almost it being a graphic novel or a comic book or even like a movie. We got to get that Hans Zimmer collaboration happening soon.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
Fucking move.
Yes.
Like a comic book would be awesome.
Yeah, but
Sure.
there's so many things you want, but there's always just so much time and budget and whatnot. But yeah, there are many dreams and goals out there that would be fantastic.
I
And
want a comic book now.
yeah, that would be great.
I want
I
one.
appreciate that you feel that way.
Yeah.
I really do, Alec.
Anytime. And being that because when I watch you play on stage too, there are bands I listen to, where like you just watch them play live and it's cool, but they're just playing their instruments. It's straightforward. I felt like Elaine was as much of a visual experience watching you play as it was simply listening to the music as well. So I was always wondering too. You mentioned it's all rooted in experience, but if on stage with the fashion that's demonstrated and the use of makeup and all that, if maybe you were sort of like portraying maybe like an alter ego or a metaphor of your personal selves.
Well, for me, when it comes to being on stage and for Elaine, like our focus is, of course, we want to deliver music wise. We're a band, so of course that goes without saying. But our goal and our vision of every show that we do is to make people have fun, to feel that they're a part of something, to feel empowered. That is like our focus whenever we go up on stage. Because we know if we can do that for them, I know we will get that back as well. But the beauty is, at the end of the show, you stand united. And maybe that is something that we reflect, with the makeup and the vibe. Like it is like you're coming up to a battlefield and you go through something. I don't know, but the main goal is the audience, not us showing up. Like, ooh, look at how talented we are. I couldn't care less. I want to give them a good show. People have bought their tickets. I want to do our instruments well, but it should be more than that. Or else they can just buy the album and stay at home.
Well, because I saw a couple pictures of the live performance where there were shows where you didn't hold the microphone, but you had I forgot what you called it.
Headset.
Yeah, like the headset mic. So I was almost like curious, like this could almost be as much of like a musical on Broadway in a way, like as
I do miss the headset.
It was some time ago you had it though. Right?
It is a while ago. The only reason why I don't use it right now is because it is not optimal. It's a very good microphone that I had, but I've been talking to Sennheiser. I need one that is completely directed because when it is here, even if directed, it picks up too much of everything around. You need to have this super directed microphone, and there's no one right now, unfortunately. I miss it because I like to be free with my hands, but now I have a great handheld Sennheiser mic, and I'm happy with it. I am.
Shout out to Sennheiser, and I wanted to actually say this is a device I had in mind where you make braces that are like microphones in a way, so then that way you don't have that background noise and it's all coming from your mouth. So
Whoa.
look,
Oh.
Never
microphone.
close your mouth.
No, I'm.
You gotta do that all the time. Hey, how you doing? All right.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I didn't factor that in. Well, that's why it was just an
Like a
idea.
Mr. Bright
can
smile.
adjust
all the
it,
time.
There you go. That'll add some eeriness to the music. But
Oh, yeah.
when you were playing live, and you have to put a set list together, so you're gonna play some "We Shall Remain" songs, some "Until the End" songs, some early songs, etc. So when you are diving in through the catalog, does it almost put you back into that emotional experience that you had at that time period? So when you play like stuff off of the debut album, it puts you back in the mindset of 2015 Elaine and so on and so forth.
For me, it doesn't, because the mindset now is much stronger than it was before. So personally, I would not like to go back. But what we do is to perform the songs from our catalog with more power, more confidence, more guidance, more leadership, so to speak, so we can empower the listeners even more.
Because I've always said that like a song could sometimes be a snapshot of who you are at that time, but it can also evolve over time. But it seems like for the music, it also evolved for you.
Often, like, it evolves, even for the artist. Just like if you look at your own Facebook statuses like 10 years ago, you're like, what the fuck?
I
right?
delited all that shit.
Maybe it make you feel something then and makes you feel something else now. If it was profound, if it wasn't just Twitter-ish shit, it was profound. It was good. It meant something for you then. But as time goes by, stuff means new things.
Especially when doing them live.
Especially when
like
doing them
Dive
live.
from Within from our previous album, that really throws me back. That is not adjusted to where I am now, but we do not perform it live either. So
Yeah.
there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like Death Incarnate from the very first album, I don't think about how it was back then, when we wrote it. Now it is like, yeah, it's that power song, when we do our gigs, and we have done that for so many shows ever since, it's I
That
love
is a
it.
powerhouse of a song.
Yeah.
That is really a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And the next time you play, I'm gonna hold you to it every time. Crawl from the Ashes. We need to hear it live.
I so appreciate to hear that you love it so much. It is one of our personal favorites.
Yeah.
It is a chug song.
Yeah, we'll keep this in mind for any kind of headline show also, because it needs a little bit more time in the set for sure.
We actually have a fan of ours who is also a part of our Patreon at patreon.com/Lane that is on our Twitch channels also, Madeline's and mine, and we call him Mr. Chug because he always wants to hear that song,
Christian.
Crawl from the Ashes, because it's so chuggy.
What I like about it is that because I'm a huge fan of the whole catalog, but to me that just represents everything that makes Eleine, from the growl and chugging aspects behind it to the epic chorus. I feel like the verse is very narrating and leads you into it. There's just something about that song. Like, to me, it's not just a representative of an Eleine song, but I think it's representative of the genre within itself. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
That is some big words. Thank you.
Of course. And I have 2 more questions for you. Next year is going to mark 10 years of the band. I believe you guys originated in 2014. Can we maybe be getting any sort of celebration of that in any way, shape, or form? Whether it's playing the debut in its entirety or maybe the whole catalog for a show, which would be amazing.
Who knows?
Man, it's insane when you think about like
Yeah.
a decade.
Yeah.
It's a decade
Yeah.
next year.
And I gotta be honest, we've been out touring now since mid-October. Just coming home and recorded the album. Now we're out again. So we are aware of this next year, but we're not there right now when it comes to all the plans. We do have a few plans, yes, but nothing specific to share as for now.
Imagine if it was only a Facebook status. Thank you. 10 years, yay.
Hey, you'll definitely get some attention that way. That would actually be really funny. I whatever
I'll
plans you
take it. Hashtag happy.
whatever pla- whatever plans you can't say, that's totally cool. I just hope they pertain to the U.S. somehow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we do too. We really do too.
And finally, before we go, I want to thank you both so much for your time. Round 3 with Eleine. I interviewed you in the heart of lockdown, right as we were coming out of the pandemic, and now after your tour. So it's great to sort of witness not only the evolution of your sound, but the evolution of being able to talk to you as well. Is there just anything else with Eleine you'd like to promote with the release of We Shall Remain? You're on the Moon Spell tour now. What else could we be expecting that you're allowed to say, of course?
Oh well.
I would like to say to everyone that are thinking about getting the album to actually pre-order the album, because it makes a huge difference nowadays for pre-orders. If the pre-orders are high, I mean that can make or break a band's future for that album. If they're low, then people will think no one wants them, even though if they're buying it when it comes out. So pre-sales are very good. If you got it, pre-buy it? Pre-buy it?
Yeah, pre-order.
Pre-order. Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, pre-order stats can actually give a band bigger and better opportunities for festivals and very big support tours. So if you're out there and are the ones that are thinking, well, I'm gonna wait until the album is out, we're gonna ask you to pre-order because that is a beautiful way to support us. If you're actually thinking about buying the album anyway, pre-order it. It is available worldwide, and we truly appreciate it. And most of all, we really hope that everyone that has seen us on the North American tour are happy. We're super happy. We cannot wait to be back. When we're coming home, we're going to be main support for Nightwish at a show in Stockholm. Super excited about that. We have a couple of festivals going on.
We do.
And the actual release, we're going to have some exclusive signing sessions in Germany and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot to look forward to.
A lot.
But we really, really appreciate our fans and followers for supporting us the way you do.
And it's been amazing to meet all of the North American fans that have been following us for years.
Yeah.
And if you want to get more insight on what we do and get more of Eleine, you can check it out at patreon.com/Eleine.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much, everybody. We are here with Eleine. We Shall Remain. Be sure to pick it up this July. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.